Did you know that your indecision could be making you sick? Sick in your body and your mind. Just it's causing you more problems than you know. So let's talk about it. How we can move from this place of indecision, this place of being on the fence, to finding greater joy and peace by committing. This may not sound super sexy. How how getting off the fence could actually help you to really be more of a healthy person. But I remember when I first heard that, and it was a really big aha for me because I hold a lot of anxiety. It's kind of my birthright to be an anxious woman. And I'm really done with having that as part of my identity. I don't want to own being an anxious woman anymore. I want that to be so, been there, got the t-shirt, and now I cleaned out my closet and now I don't own the t-shirt anymore. So I just want to be a different person that doesn't live life in this in between. It is hard to make decisions because once you decide something, you commit to something. But if you stay on the fence, yeah, at any point you could go either way. So oftentimes it feels safer to be on the fence. But when I realized that it was actually harming me by staying on that fence, plus I have a very bony butt, and so just the idea of sitting on a fence is just painful. Ugh. So I would like to get off the fence and, find a better place to lay my rump. So, yeah, getting off the fence. So here's why. Here's why this was such a big breakthrough for me. And I think I'm really hoping that this is going to be something that will translate for you as well. And you'll say, oh my gosh, maybe I never thought about it this way. Or yes, this keeps coming into my life. And clearly this is a sign that I need to get off the fence. So yeah, we're of two minds when we are on the fence, when we could go either way about a decision. Oftentimes, we see this most in our relationships, in our marriages. Oh, girls, if you're a modern girl like me, your mother will have basically taught you how to have your bags packed all the time, just in case shit hits the fan and you have to go out on your own and take care of yourself. That's kind of, that's how we were raised to say, well, you better go get that degree and you better have a career just in case something happens. So basically, we're going to plan for failure so that, you're safe. But by planning for failure, you're kind of deciding that this is the route I am planning on things going wrong and me being completely on my own and having to fend for myself. Now, I am not saying that you shouldn't pack an umbrella in a rainstorm, but at the same time, I think it's wise to have resources we can draw from to know that if something terrible did happen, that we could take care of ourselves. But to have that as that's our life plan. I just need to have this as a backup because chances are I'm going to get divorced. And so I'm planning for that so that I can still, maintain my level of comfort, whatever it is. I just think it's kind of a bad idea. But here's what we have been left with, what life has created. So instead, talking about committing, we have been raised to have our bags packed. I am committing to marrying you, sir, and we will share in life together. And if something that I don't like happens, I am splitting and I am taking care of myself. So with that, we're in our relationship, we are living, watching, pardon me for shaking the table, watching for all the signs of a breakdown and that person not living up to a commitment so that then we can say, oh, cross the line there. I got my bags packed though. I'm cool. I'm cool. I got my bags packed. I was expecting this. Of course I was. Men are pigs. And here I go. As opposed to, I mean, that's sounds logical, right? What if instead, and this is where I had to get to, was saying, you know what? What if I went all in? What if I unpacked my bags and said, I really, really want this to work. I'm betting the farm on this marriage. I'm betting the farm on this family that we're creating. And you know what I really, really want? I want my children to live with their mom and their dad. And I want it to be a happy place. Okay, can I just say a big thing that has been going on in my heart is learning the areas that I have not surrendered yet. I thought I was already there. I thought I'd pretty much had this down. But I realized that there were still some areas where I was afraid to give it all, to trust someone else enough, and not just someone else, but, the higher being, the universe, God. I was afraid. And I still am. I haven't solved all this yet, but we're going there, and that's the journey. I was afraid to really, really, truly surrender because that is completely vulnerable. And here's the thing, when I think of, even as much as I understand of the term surrender and what I mean by that, which is it's not to, show my belly and put my hands in the air and say, now I'm at your mercy. Go ahead and destroy me. Because that's what it feels like when we think of surrender. I think especially as women. And it doesn't mean that. It means I surrender trying to hold on to control. And I surrender to accept my greatest good. I am surrendering being the mastermind, planning everything, so that the one who has an even better plan than I can come up with, because they know all the cards, they know everything, that I can allow my greatest good to come in. I think so much of the time I forget that element. And I feel like I am putting all of myself and all of my being into another human's hands. And that's kind of how it feels in a marriage. I am allowing myself to be completely, I'm going to use a term that a lot of people aren't going to like, but owned, completely owned by this person. And that doesn't mean giving up ownership of self, but saying, I am in this with you. It's not that I have a steering wheel and you have a steering wheel, and then, but my steering wheel is actually bigger because, and it all goes to leadership. I have found for myself, and I think for a lot of other women, that it honestly doesn't work to be co-leaders in a family. It doesn't. Just like in an airplane, they don't have two equal pilots. There's the pilot and the co-pilot. And we have been taught in recent generations that being the co-pilot in the family is such a lesser thing because it says co-pilot. It's not pilot. I mean, that's the main job. But do you understand the level of responsibility that the pilot holds? Personal story here. My husband went on a trip recently, and it wasn't until he was gone that I realized all the quiet ways that he takes care of us and the house that I don't even see. I don't even notice. He just does it like the brownies or the elves in a fairy book story where the cobbler wakes up in the morning and, oh my gosh, look, shoes. And that's my husband. He's not an elf and I'm not a cobbler, but it's just like magically things happen. And it's not until he was gone that I was able to go, oh, somebody does that. And that somebody is him. There are so many quiet ways that he takes care of us, that he makes sure that we're safe, that like he's the man that locks the doors. And I just honestly, I don't like going around my house without his presence and going and locking my doors. I feel scared. Chances of anything happening are about as like I can't even measure how small. It's incredibly small. But still, that sense of peace that he brings is very palpable. And I think it's all these different ways that we don't see the quiet ways. And there's so many quiet ways that you contribute to your family as well. The things that you do, whether that's cleaning out the fridge. I can't really raise my hand. I haven't even finished cleaning out the fridge. I started and then I got other stuff going on. And there's one shelf that's left to do. But it is like, who keeps the laundry going? That's a quiet way that you are a dependable part of the household. But going back to getting off the fence, what is this about? When we decide, oh, surrendering to someone else and saying, as the pilot, we're getting back to the pilot. Here we go in the plane, taking off. Our spouses do a lot of stuff that are taking full responsibility for our families. And that's like my husband, he takes care of the finances. God bless the man, because I don't love numbers and I don't like things that are due. And he takes care of all that. There are plenty of women who are really, really good at that. And they may even be more skilled than their husbands. But what I have found, and I have heard this to be a truth for many other women, is that when we are able to surrender that to our husbands and let them take that on as one of their leadership roles, oh my gosh, life gets so much more blissful for us women. But that person who is the pilot has a lot of responsibilities. They are looking out for the big picture for the family, while the co-pilot is what I like. He's the captain and I'm the first mate. And I love how he says how, the captain he's logistics and I'm personnel. Couldn't have said it more perfect. And it's why I married a wordsmith. So I'm so grateful that he just puts it so clearly that yes, I do all the people things. I do the food and the people and comfort. And he does all of the logistics. And gosh, it works so well. So going back to how oftentimes we feel like we have two equal steering wheels, you cannot. You can't pilot a plane, both like fighting each other on the controls. One person has to be the main person. If they say like, hey, I got to go take a leak. Can you take over? It's like, yeah, sure. I got this. Okay, here I go. And you're back. Okay, off to you. Whew, cool. All right. So that going back to the fences. Oftentimes, as we in our independence feel like we're just waiting for our spouse to fail so that we have that backup plan and that we're safe, it really puts us at a disadvantage. And when we do finally decide, you know what if, like I said before, what if this actually could be the best life I could ever imagine? What if we could make this a blissful home and family? What if I could contribute to making this the romantic relationship that I have been craving, instead of saying, oh, my husband's such a dud, I don't feel loved, I better look elsewhere? Because I know from personal experience, I get lazy. And there are plenty of times where I forget, oh my gosh, he's quiet. My husband is quiet about, the things that he cares about or enjoys or wants. And I just tend to be a little more expressive. Oh, I would love this. Oh, I would love that. Oh, and it's easy to forget. Oh my gosh, what is it that he would really like? And instead of just pursuing my wants and desires, what if I think about him? It's a big one. I think, bigger than we really realize. So going all in feels really good. What about your health? What about the food that you eat? Everyone's in search of the perfect diet. Are you getting the right minerals in your water? Are you eating a carnivore diet or a whole food diet? Are you like what is it? What's the trend these days? People are doing it's fruit and meat and fat but no grain. I don't know. And what I have learned that has been so exciting and resonates with me so much is the concept that, whatever it is, it matters far more how I feel about the thing that I'm doing than what studies show. Because if I feel that consuming this thing is going to be really healthy for me, very beneficial, it's going to be doing me good. I I kind of give it's like the placebo effect in a way. I give it more nutrition in a way by deeming it valuable. And the other thing too, oh my gosh, I ate this piece of pizza. Oh, it's just so the gluten. Oh, run away from the gluten. It's going to make me all puffy and feel sluggish. And you know what? Yes, it will because you believe it. That is how you feel that that is bad food, but you just couldn't help yourself and all the guilt. No. What I have discovered is I truly don't think that there is a perfect diet plan for the world. Mm-mm. I think that it matters far more of what you decide and you commit to. If you say, "Oh, I really probably should be eating more protein, but fruit is in season and all I want to do is eat fruit." You're going to be enjoying that fruit while having in the back of your mind this guilt that this isn't good for you. You're not getting enough protein. And that in itself is going to be detrimental to your health. It's not about what you're eating. It is about how you feel about it. This is controversial, but I don't care. That's why I talk about it. This is showing the power of belief. There is a classic study of where it was the milkshake study, if you've heard about that, where they took a milkshake and they took two different groups of people. And one was is the same recipe for the milkshake. It's just a milkshake. But they gave it to group one, they said, this is a high calorie shake. And then what they did was they measured how their bodies responded to it. And then to the group B, they said this is a health shake. It lowers your blood sugar. It's really good for all the blah blah blah. And their bodies responded. Same shake, two different messages. It's called marketing. And the people in the health shake, their bodies responded favorably to this, where the people that thought it was, oh, this is probably not, it's delicious, but it's so bad for me. Oh, it's such an indulgence. Their bodies responded poorly. Wow, who knew? Our brains are so darn powerful. So, with that, if we decide, you know what? I feel really good about eating X, Y, and Z, eating this way, then if we commit to it, we are going to feel better. We are going to notice changes in our bodies. We are going to just like, see, clearly, this is what I should have been doing. But if we start eating a certain way and we still have this thing in the back of our mind that says, I don't know, I'm on the fence about it. I don't know if I can fully commit to this. Chances are you're probably actually going to have quite a bit of water weight. You're not going to have that same response. It's not going to be a sustainable way in changing your nutrition. It's crazy. This is all about being on the fence. Once you can commit to something, it is beautiful to see how, oh my gosh, your nervous system's able to regulate. Because being on the fence, like I said, isn't very comfortable at all. Even though we feel it's safer because at any moment we could change our minds. But that puts us in this state of anxiety that is really unsustainable. Talk about high cortisol levels because you are always ready to shift. And where I do believe it is very important to be able to change our minds if we receive better information or information that feels better. We should be able to change our minds and not feel bad about it. Not go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was eating that way for that long when clearly I should have been eating this way. Well, change your what you're doing. If that resonates with you. Okay, so what do you do when you are in the in between, when you're trying to make a decision? Like, I would love to get off the fence. I just don't know which side to go on. This is where our intuition comes in. This is where that beautiful gift that we have, where we're able to tune in, is available for us to get that peace and to make a decision that we can commit to with peace and comfort. So, how do you do that? Okay, so you have A or B to decide between. A or B. Which one feels lighter? I love it. My friend Amy Michelle, who I will put in the show notes, she is like the dog whisperer, the animal whisperer. Friend of mine. She's like a medium plus body worker plus. I don't know if she's really a body worker. She's energetics and GNM, and she does a lot with animals, but with people too. So like I don't know, she's amazing. But I love that she says like, what is lighter? And what is lighter? Go with. What is heavy is fear, is yuck, is negative. Let it go. Go with what is lighter. So if you were on the fence, which one is A or is B lighter? You will know it almost instantly. Like you'll be able to feel it. But sometimes you won't. It could be a really big decision, a huge decision. Should I move closer to my family right now as my parents are aging? Or should we stay over here because the kids have a really good, stable lifestyle right now? Those are pretty, whoa, can feel pretty equal. So my recommendation is to give yourself a box. So this is the beautiful grace of saying, all right, I am going to choose, I'm going to choose A for the next, and then give yourself a time frame. And I'm going to see, and I'm going to be open to receiving information that will help me make a final decision on A or B. But for the next 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever it is, I'm going to do my best to bring my best energy into this situation while asking for direction. So I will commit to it, and I know that I will be able to reevaluate in this time frame. Oh, there you go. So say it's about your relationship, your marriage. Say, okay, all right. Right now, pardon me, itching my nose. Right now I'm really, really miserable. I'm so unhappy and I feel like it's all his fault. Oh, well, okay. It's never just one person's fault. I know this very well. So you can say, all right, you know what? Because this is a really, really big decision, I'm going to give the next 6 months. And in this next 6 months, I am going to commit to taking full responsibility for myself, for my actions or lack thereof. And I am going to do everything I can to become the woman that I want to be for the spouse I want to have. So whether that is the man you're currently married to or that is somebody else, by doing our best to show up at our best, that beautiful work creates incredible response in our men. It is phenomenal how reactive, in a beautiful way, that they are to when we start making the changes in ourselves. And one of the things that I learned the hard way, and it took me a couple years, quite a few, I'd say, actually, not just 2, to really learn this. Before, I was trying to change myself so that I would have the marriage that I wanted. I wasn't trying to change myself because I wanted to be a certain woman. I've thought, okay, I need to manufacture these changes within me so that then I will get a better response. By doing that, I really burned out and and I wasn't being authentic. I wasn't being true to me. I think a large part of it was I was afraid to really be me because what if he didn't like me? What if he wanted to reject me when I showed up as my authentic self? And when we do that, girls, we rob ourselves of our whole identity. When we're trying to be someone that we're not, it is never a good thing. Never a good thing for our souls. We're basically living on the fence. So, the best thing we can do for ourselves and for our spouses, because also that's just manipulative and it's not kind. It's not nice. You would not want to be married to a man who is trying to be something for you, would you? You would want to marry a man who's just, this is who he is. And a lot of men are pretty good at showing up just as who they are. And it's heartbreaking when either one of us shows up inauthentically. Is it in or un? Anyway, with lack of authenticity. so, so we should be kind enough, love ourselves enough to be able to say, hey, who I am is a good thing. And guess what? I always want to grow. I always want to improve. I always want to get to the next level of meanness. And I hope by being that, by elevating myself, that I continue to become the kind of person that that other person wants to be around. Yeah, to live otherwise is just really selling ourselves and our spouses short. So, to cap all of this up, just to reinforce that it really matters more how we feel about a decision than whatever the decision is. And whether that goes to health things like someone has, say they have a cancer diagnosis, where in the realm that I believe that's German New Medicine based, it's not really a big deal because your body is healing. Other people say, you know what, I don't want to just relax and trust that my body's dealing with this. I feel more comfortable going for chemo. And that feels right in my heart. That is exactly what you should do. No matter what people are telling you, and this goes to birth for sure. That automatically comes into my field. I'm thinking about when you feel in your heart, oh my, I just really want to birth at home. I just do. I want to have a midwife, or I don't want to have a midwife and I just want to be at home and just have my family around me, like my husband, or nobody around me. I just want to be alone in the bathroom and be able to holler and get somebody to come and help if I want that. Or if you say, I want a team of medical people around me when I birth. That feels safest and resonates most within me, a feeling like that's what I need. Whatever it is that is in your heart matters far more than what other people are telling you you ought to do. That also goes with your, like, I know for me, relationship wise, that's very true. Sometimes we do crappy things to each other, or we say dumb stuff, and we didn't realize that it affected someone as much. And we share it with our friends. Oh, can you believe that they said that? Oh, who could be with? Clearly, that's just, oh, nobody should have to live with that. And but then when you ask yourself, but how do I really feel? Do I really want to still be with this person? And your heart answers with a like, yes. Like, okay, for one thing, stop bitching about it. Another thing, like, it's okay to have feelings and to express them. I think it's very, very valid. And oftentimes you do need to blow off steam. But choose someone who is in support of your marriage working out. Do not go to another man and say, oh my guy, he's just, I just need a shoulder to cry on. Oh, stop it. No, you don't. You don't need that shoulder. Get a girlfriend and say, "Oh, I can't, this happened." And I recognize where I failed too. We have to own our, as Laura Doyle says, our side of the street. We have to make sure we clean up what we are responsible for. Hey, I made a mistake too. Hey, I said something pretty insulting. Hey, I've been feeling this way and I haven't made any gestures. I haven't been thoughtful. I haven't taken time to connect. So I can't just blame it all on him. Where is the responsibility? We need to be radically self responsible. Hey, totally. That was on me. Ah, I see that. Where can I do better? By committing to that and then also giving yourself that parameter, that box to say, okay, I am going to try this for this long and I'm going to go fully all in. And I'll put a pin in it later. Maybe I'll come back to this. But after I've really gone for a full sprint, like all energy out, I am really going this direction with everything that I have. Great. Then you can reevaluate later. But what I found on the relationship side is once I commit to that, oh boy, such a beautiful response back to when I put my full energy into it, into a relationship, and my authenticity. So I want to communicate to you how much you are loved. You are loved in such a ridiculous amount that if we tried to measure it, it would break the measuring system. It would go that classic boing, oing, 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 and the scale and the springs come blasting out of it, and it just is totally crashed. It crashed because you are loved so much, it cannot be measured. And I wanted to check in to see if you listened to my previous episode and started along with me of sitting in love for 5 minutes a day. This marks one full week. How has your life changed? How has it been feeling in you? Are you going through some incredible growing pains? Because I tell you what, I've had so much stuff come up. Like it feels like it's been archaeology and there's been all this trash that has been have layers, lasagna layers of garbage that is just stuff has just been like bloop, bloop, plopping, coming to the surface. And I'm going, oh my gosh, oh, look at that. Wow, that really needed some love to work itself out of me. And I have to look at this now and decide what do I believe about this? Is this my truth still? Oh my goodness, this relationship or this story of this is who I am. That has come to the surface and it has been beautiful and it's been rough. It's been a pretty crushing week, but like transformative. And I am so grateful for that, that I would have just been trotting along in life on the surface. And I never would have well, I don't know, never, but until you actually do the work of sitting in love, allowing yourself to because when you sit in love, you heal. You get filled up, all those cracks. I can't remember the Japanese word, but there's a Japanese art of mending pottery using gold to mend the cracks. Gold. So you have this, it's pottery. And yet the cracks are made beautiful. They're made whole again. This vessel is made whole with the cracks sealed in gold. And that's us. And so I hope that if you're just joining us on this challenge, this, because it is, I tell you what, it's a challenge to sit in love, to, to take care of ourselves and to sit in the comfortable discomfort of being utterly loved, of being utterly enough and wondrous and perfectly imperfect and glorious. And what I love most about it is it's nothing that we do. Little story. So our last puppy went home. We have bred golden retrievers for the last 4 years, I think, 3 years, and uh, I just had a sense that we were done, at least for now. And we're not doing anything permanent. We're just taking a break, just seeing what happens. And so after Poppy went home, I was snuggling with Mama Winnie, our golden girl. And I was I just wanted to share my thanks with her about how she has blessed us so much with the experience of having puppies. It has been so beautiful and so rich. Eh, And and so I'm petting her and thanking her so for all that she has provided, for blessing us financially, for blessing us with all of those glorious puppy snuggles, for all of it. And I told her, and you can just be you right now. You don't have to do anything. You can just be you. And all of a sudden, that clicked as if I was holding up a mirror and I was saying to myself, you can just be you. You don't have to produce anything. You don't have to be anything. You don't have to do anything. You can just be you. And that washed over me. And I realized because so many of us are raised to believe that our only value is in what we put on the table, whatever that is, what we bring to the table, what we put on. And so whatever we're bringing to the table. And I have to say that that is true in a way. If you what we do bring to the table matters. It does. But we are not the stuff on the table. We are the bearers. This is who we are. And just like your man deserves to be loved simply for being a human being, not for all the things that he does. Those are things that we are grateful for. Gosh, I'm grateful that my man does these things. But he deserves my love simply for being him, who he is as a person. I think when we are able to reconnect with that and see ourselves and our spouses as beings instead of doings or makers, that is where the love really settles in. And that's where a lot of the crap falls away. The stuff all these expectations that we create, all the expectations we absorb. Oh, well, I saw on Instagram this person has that thing or that lifestyle or that they go these places, and clearly I should be having those things because they look so happy and successful, and I want to be that. I want to be happy and successful. Stupid measuring sticks. Stupid, stupid, pretty arbitrary measuring sticks as opposed to beings. You take away all the technology. You take away all the trappings and you just put us like cavemen as people. We're just there in our birthday suits. Who we are is what we bring to the table. And we all deserve to be loved and appreciated for that. And oftentimes when I feel that I'm not being appreciated enough, it is a beautiful reflection of what I have been giving out. I haven't been appreciating enough either. Oh gosh. But why don't I start with myself? How about I appreciate me? Oh gosh, I really appreciate this thing about me. You know, we got to fill up on love to be able to have love to give away. And it is so abundant. It is endless. It is so available. Oh, so I feel like it's the greatest secret ever. And it's all free today. That's a Chitty Chitty Bang Bang quote for anybody. We love that movie. It's all free forever. And yeah, I need to remember that on a daily basis. Fill up on love. So one of the things that really has helped me is a visualization. And it is where, so in the world of manifesting, which is such a fun place to hang out, I love that. Um, they recommend all the theys that write all the books and say all the things, recommend living from the place of already having the thing that our heart has been desiring. So if there's something that we are wanting, wishing we had, imagine that we have it. What does that feel like? What does that look like? And a beautiful Neville Goddard, um, not trick, but practice is to, so say he uses an example of a man he wants more money, so he wants a better business position. And so he visualizes himself shaking hands with a colleague or someone that's above him as he's being congratulated on having this new position. Oh, and doesn't it feel incredible to be shaking this guy's hand? It's like, oh, thank you. Well, thank you. Yes. It feels wonderful to have this new position with this great pay raise and all that comes with it. And live in, like, what does that feel? How does that feel inside of you? And Neville Goddard's, which I'll link also in the show notes, uh, what he teaches is to live from that place of feeling, that is what's most powerful, because what is feeling but energy? It's energy, and it's a high vibration. If you have this, and it works either way. If you live in a place of fear, that's an energy, and it's a low vibrational energy, and it's going to attract low vibrational things. So if you are vibing high, and this is the thing, I have been experiencing a lot of synchronicities lately as I've been practicing living in love. It's been really, really cool to see stuff just kind of plop out of, it feels like thin air. It's like, how do this many good things happen? Ha, I, hmm, I'm kind of flummoxed, but it's not a mystery. It's pretty clear that it's the energy that I choose to sit in is what is making all the difference. And it's kind of freaky cool when you realize, oh my gosh, is this really it? Is this all that I really need to do? Is this the whole trick to manifesting? Is that if I am, say, I think there's a lot more to it. That's a whole other podcast. But let's go back to Neville Goddard and visualizing, living from the feeling of already having the thing that you want. So when I was listening to somebody else's podcast, and they were talking about this thing, and they were doing a manifestation. What's it called? Meditation. And as she was going through it, and she got to the point where you're nice and relaxed, you're warm and fuzzy, you're filled with love and all that golden light, and then you imagine the thing that you have been desiring. And you imagine what that feels like, and you see a clear picture. And I see movies in my head is how I get information. And so I saw crystal clear this picture, and I saw in the picture, it was about my husband reacting to something that I was making. And I saw his face. I saw him all lit up. I saw him amazed. I saw him filled with adoration and delight. And it felt incredible. And and it's this feeling that I'm feeling right now. That is where the power is at. And so all I have to do is remember that picture in my head, and it brings back all the feeling. And I go, oh, yeah, I surrender to you. Make that happen. You make that happen, universe, in your divine time. Because it just makes me light up. Oh, yeah. So visualization is incredibly helpful in getting you to the direction that you want to be. So, like, say it is a relationship issue that you're struggling with. Oh, my marriage is really not the place I want to be. If you imagine that maybe you're walking on the beach and you're holding hands and you see him look at you with that look that happened in those early days, that just like, I'm going to eat you up, I just can't get enough of you, and you feel, oh, what does that do to you? You pick it. You know what's going to work for you. But if you hold that and you live in that and that's your future. And then you allow yourself to fill up every day on love so that you have a place to draw from. And then you're being radically self-responsible. You're owning your side of the street, as Laura Doyle would say. You're cleaning up after you. You are apologizing for where you've gone off track. And you are doing your best. Just watch out. Just watch out at how fast you are going to be creating that beautiful picture that you've already been visualizing. It's going to come true. And it might be frightening how fast that it happens. It's glorious. It's so cool. So get off the fence, make a decision, commit to whatever you're doing. Just decide. And whether that's what your workout routine is or how many glasses of water to drink a day, just commit. Make a decision and say, that feels good to me. Next week, I'm going to reevaluate. And then instead of stressing out every single day, multiple times a day for the next week about, I don't know, maybe I should be drinking one more cup, or maybe I'm drinking too much water. I don't know. But here I go. I'm supposed to be drinking whatever this amount is. No, just say, you know what? This week, this is what I'm doing. Next week, I'm going to take 3 minutes to think about, should I change what I'm doing? Okay. All right. Set it aside for a time. But right now, you are off the fence. You are committed. You have visualized what you want. You feeling really good about it. And it's coming into your presence. And you are basking in love every single day. Ooh, see what happens. Watch out, because it's radical. It is radical, and it will transform your life. So listen to the previous podcast if you did not yet, to get a little more in depth on how this basking in love can change your life. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. Please reach out at wholewomanawakening@gmail.com if you have a story you want to share, or if you just would like to connect. And I'm very excited to have a link very soon for the free masterclass on creating your dream year this year. We're going to talk about the most powerful vision boards that you can create. They have been working for me the last several years, and I want to share some of the things that I've found that really work, and why you need to plan ahead and not just wait the night before on New Year's Eve to create your vision board, because you're crafting your future self, and we're going to get really intentional on it. So stay tuned for more on that. I will be here next Friday. I hope you join me. Thanks.